There we go. Got this stupid camera set up finally. Took like an hour. I'm too lazy for this. Ugh, okay. How's it going, guys? Hope Florida's doing good for you, because it's boring here. There's pollen everywhere and my sinuses have been so I'm gonna sound really funny doing this whole blasted thing. Actually, my voice sounds weird on camera anyways. Why did I agree to do this? I should have dropped out. Okay, whatever. Let's begin. Women have fought hard for equality throughout the ages, as we all have been informed via a wonderful Susan B. Anthony report that I'm sure you all remember. Girl power! But sometimes we forget that equality is supposed to go both ways. Case in point, a man's right in abortion. Cue disclaimer. I in no way have an opinion on abortion itself. I do not condone or condemn abortion. I don't think abortion's okay. I don't think abortion is bad. I, honest to God, don't care. Be that as it may, I stand neutral. I am the Sweden of abortion on the decision and refuse to let it interfere with the actual meaning of this report, and so should you. And the meaning of this report is men's rights in accordance to child rearing and abortion decisions. Men should be allowed to choose whether they want a child the same way a woman can choose whether they want to abort a child or not. Women have the right to choose whether or not to have an abortion within a certain time period, a lot of time period where it's considered ethical or moral or whatever the point may be. Men should also be allowed the same exact time frame to decide whether they want to metaphorically abort the child, which is give up all rights to the child and state that they want nothing to do with the child. This also saves them from child support and all the other, because honestly, if women can abort a child as easily as that, so should men. Ethical and moral reasoning aside, being that abortion is legal, men should have rights and equal protection under law to reach the ends to which abortion accomplishes for women. Equal protection under law is paramount. Conception is not something a man does to a woman. It is supposed to be a mutual act requiring mutual responsibility as such. The mutual right to abort such responsibility of consequences of conception should be afforded equally. We have this consistent thing with the word equal throughout the import. If you don't like the word, then I suggest you do this. It should be understood that men don't get women pregnant. For an unplanned pregnancy, men deserve equal rights as a woman to reach the same ends that abortion reaches for a woman. That is, termination of the ramifications, responsibility, and supposed consequences of conception. A woman's choice in the matter is not affected by this right of men. And while we're on the topic of that, giving men rights when it comes to abortion itself, women do not have the sole ownership of an unborn child. Decision for the abortion should be equal right. So if the guy wants the baby and the woman doesn't, they should come to a compromise of sorts. I understand that it's your body and you do what you want with it, females, but whatever. Should a woman choose to keep the child and the man is at first willing to do so as well, he may not change his mind at a later time frame, after the abortion time limit has passed, and should either be a father or pay child support. And speaking of child support, it's a little low actually, considering you have single women out there with say 2 or 3 babies at all once. They could use a little more money, just throwing that out there. Women claim that the body is theirs, as I pointed out, and thus the child is their property, thus their choice. In reality, the child is not their property and is not entirely their choice. You cannot have exclusive rights to property unless you have exclusive responsibility of said property. Children are not asexually spawned from a woman's body. They don't just magically appear out of nowhere. I want a baby. Bam, you're pregnant. It takes 2 to tango, and therefore women should not be given the sole decision on the future implications of said dance. So what is the difference between claiming a right and actually owning a right? And how important is that difference? Well, the indifference is very important. Rights can be differentiated from a privilege by understanding where responsibility for property is delegated. For instance, abortion is not a right, but a privilege, because responsibility for the privileged women hold a sole property rights to a child is placed under men to bear. Only if men have equal right to abort, responsibility, ownership, or consequential results of conception of said property as well, would abortion become a right, and as such equal protection under law be established. Suffice to say that at this point, conception is seen as something as a man does to a woman, rather than a mutual act requiring mutual responsibility and therefore equal property rights to a child, and not afforded to men both pre and post conception. Such, the equal right to abort such responsibility is not afforded equally. Men actually have no paternal rights to children, no to their bodies, and thus fruits of property beared forth by its labor. In conclusion, women have fought for equal rights among men. They fought to be considered equal. If we are all considered equal, men should have a say in whether or not they should be held accountable for actions that would alter their life as heavily as it would a woman's. I have no opinion on abortion, but I have a high opinion that it is not just the woman who should have a say in the matter. Thank you. Applause. Yada yada. See you guys later.